Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470M, 96.9 FM, caféconlecheradio.com. Les habla Lilia Galindo y tengo conmigo a Rosy Mainella y a Michael Dutton en el teléfono.
Buenos días.
Y tenemos de invitado al doctor David Bronstein. Él es un experto en enfermedades infecciosas y también es pediatra del Kaiser Permanente. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Thank you for being with us again. We really appreciate your efforts to come to the Café con Leche. I would like to talk about the COVID-19 for children. We know that the vaccine has already been approved, but I don't know, can children be infected with COVID-19?
Oh, absolutely. Kids can definitely get COVID and they can spread COVID. About a quarter of all new cases over the past few months have been in kids. And now that, of course, is going to be preventable with the vaccine.
Perfecto. La pregunta fue que si los niños pueden ser infectados con COVID-19.
Y dice que claro que sí, que los niños no nada más están siendo infectados en los últimos meses, sino también que la están transmitiendo como un cuarto de los niños.
Michael, are you there? Can you hear?
I am here and I can hear. Yes.
Perfecto. Michael Dutton is my co-host also, and he's participating by phone. Well, do you know, tell us what are some of the symptoms of COVID-19 in children?
So it's a little confusing because it looks like just any cold in most kids. So sometimes you have fever, sometimes you don't. Most of the time you have a runny nose, cough, congestion, sore throat. Sometimes you do lose your taste or smell, but that's not all the time. And in fact, most of the time that does not happen. And it really looks like any other cold virus or flu virus. And so without testing, you would never know if you had COVID or something else.
Le estaba yo preguntando cuáles son los síntomas que un niño presenta si tiene COVID-19.
Y nos dice que es muy difícil de diagnosticar sin hacer el examen, porque parece como cualquier resfriado común y corriente, que tiene uno la garganta le duele, la tiene irritada, también tiene la gripa, le dan los moquitos y tos, y que a veces, y casi no, también pierden el olfato, pero no es muy común. Entonces, lo único que pueden hacer es hacer el examen para saber si sí o si no.
Recently, a COVID-19 vaccine for children was approved. Who can get that vaccine?
So now we have vaccines available for everybody 5 years of age and older. The newest approval was for the ages 5 to 11 because before it was just 12 and up. But now we do have a vaccine specifically for kids who are age 5 through age 11. It's the same kind of vaccine. It's the Pfizer vaccine, but it's a third of the dose that we were giving previously to 12 and up. So it's a little bit less of the vaccine, but it seems to work just as well, and kids seem to do great with it.
Bueno, la pregunta fue, recientemente se aprobó una vacuna de COVID para niños. ¿Quién se puede ahora poner la vacuna de COVID?
Dice el doctor Bronstein que los niños de las edades de 5 a 11 años ya se pueden vacunar también y les dan como un tercio de la dosis que les estaban dando a los niños de 12 en adelante. Y es la vacuna de Kaiser.
Así es que todos, ahora ya todos se pueden vacunar, desde los 5 hasta la edad que tengan, la vacuna está disponible para todo el mundo, así es que es nuestra responsabilidad ir a vacunarnos. Michael, do you want to make any question, please?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Number one, doctor, would you say that young people, the 5 to 11-year-olds, are almost like little super spreaders, and that they so very much this time of the year, teachers get sick from kids giving them germs, and they are just a traditional thing for most teachers. October, November are months of sickness for them. Do you think that inoculating these young people as soon as possible would help alleviate some of that and some of the other cold and flu symptoms as well?
Yeah, so definitely, kids are spreaders. I'm not sure I'd say super spreaders necessarily because they don't really seem to spread it uh, more so than adults do. I think they all seem to spread it quite a bit. It's different with things like flu and other childhood infections where kids really are the ones responsible for the majority of the illnesses. But
Okay.
kids can definitely spread COVID. They could spread it to each other. They could bring it home and spread it to anyone in their family, especially those who may not be vaccinated yet. And they could spread it to teachers too, but fortunately, most of our teachers have been vaccinated, which is really great to hear.
Bueno, la pregunta,
Early on, the word that we were getting from high political places that children were kind of like, they're not affected by it and don't worry about the kids. We just need to, inoculate the adults was pretty bad advice.
ajá.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's not true. Kids do get COVID, they spread COVID. And the scary thing is that kids can have bad outcomes from COVID. I know I've seen it myself as an infectious disease specialist and a pediatrician, but we see it. You look at the numbers across the country, and unfortunately, kids can become sick. Kids can be hospitalized from COVID. And unfortunately, we've had kids die from COVID. Around 600 kids less than 18 years of age have passed away from COVID.
Wow.
And of course, now almost all those kids would be alive had we had a vaccine available to them back at the time when these things were happening. So we can prevent further illness. We can definitely prevent kids from being hospitalized or dying from the disease because of the vaccine that we now have available.
Bueno, Michael estaba comentando, él dice, bueno, yo quisiera saber, dice, en la experiencia de Michael como maestro, los niños son los que, dice, los super contagian a todos los demás con sus virus, pero solamente en el caso del resfriado, de la flu, y no en el caso de COVID, es lo que nos dice el doctor. ¿Y qué más nos dijo el doctor Rossi?
Pues también dijo que es sumamente importante que sí se vacunen los niños, que porque los niños no son
los que infectan, ¿verdad?
No son los que infectan, pero también sí traen los gérmenes a la casa para las personas más adultas que no se han vacunado todavía, y entonces sí se pueden infectar de esta manera. Pero que también ha habido muchos casos en los niños que se han enfermado muy seriamente, que hasta han sido hospitalizados.
De COVID esto,
De COVID. Y que también ha habido 600 casos de niños que han muerto por el COVID. Y que es muy triste saber eso, que porque si hubiéramos tenido una vacuna que le pudiéramos dar a los niños más pequeños, no hubiéramos perdido tantos pequeños.
Bueno, y estamos hablando de 600 jóvenes que han perecido, dice, de 18 años para abajo. Son las personas que han llegado al hospital y algunos de ellos han muerto, y de estos 600 que se contabilicen en las edades de 18 para abajo. Then, where and how can these children have the vaccine? Do you know where and how?
So absolutely, the vaccine is very widely available right now. You can get it at local pharmacies. That may be one of the easier places. I know through Kaiser Permanente, we do have the vaccine available for our members and for non-members as well. We're back at the fairgrounds right now. We moved back over there after having been back in our clinics for a while, but now we have it at the fairgrounds. You can make an appointment on kp.org/COVID vaccine, or if you walk in, we'll take care of you as well. We want to make sure we vaccinate as many people as possible. So you're always welcome to come to us if it's more convenient for you.
The vaccines are only for Kaiser Permanente members or everybody?
We have it for anybody, members and non-members as well.
Excelente. Bueno, le estaba yo preguntando dónde y cómo los niños pueden tener la vacuna, y nos dice que está totalmente disponible en muchos lugares. Ya se regresó otra vez a la feria Kaiser estuvo ahí cuando se empezaron a aplicar las primeras vacunas, luego se cerró porque ya no había tanta asistencia, pero ahora que los niños han sido autorizados de 5 a 11, pues es una excelente oportunidad para que todos vayan. What would you say to some parents who didn't have the vaccine yet? Can they infect their children or their children can infect them?
So first, I would tell you to get the vaccine. Bring your child in, and you can get it together. No reason not to. Absolutely, if you are not protected with the vaccine, it's more likely that you can get an infection. And if you have that infection, you can definitely spread it to the people you care about, including your children. There are still some kids out there who are not eligible to get the vaccine, kids who are under the age of 5. And really the only thing that all of us can do to protect them is to make sure that everybody around them is vaccinated, especially their parents and others in their households.
Le preguntaba yo si un padre que no esté vacunado puede infectar a su hijo de COVID o su hijo puede infectarlo a él de COVID. ¿Y qué nos dijo, Rosy?
Dijo el doctor Bronstein que sí.
Definitivamente.
Sí, definitivamente sí puede uno infectar a los niños. Entonces se recomienda que vayan juntos, ¿verdad? Si va a ir a vacunar a su niño de 5 a 11 años o más grandecito, también se puede vacunar usted mismo al mismo tiempo. So, hagan la cita para 2 personas. Y como lo había dicho anteriormente, puede uno ir a los fairgrounds, ahí donde hacen la feria, en Lancaster, en la Avenida H, y vacunarse los 2 al mismo tiempo. Y que también tenemos que proteger a esos niños que todavía no pueden tener la vacuna, esos niños de 5 años y menos, ¿verdad? Los pequeñitos. Hay que protegerlos a ellos al vacunarnos a nosotros mismos.
So, that means that children younger than 5 can get sick and can have complications, serious complications?
Unfortunately, yes. We've seen that. Kids can definitely, again, not just get cold symptoms with COVID, but can also get more severe complications that can put them in the hospital or worse. And what we do see with kids really of all ages is after you've had COVID, sometimes a month later, you can get this multi-system inflammatory syndrome that is very severe and puts kids in the ICU setting. Fortunately, that's still relatively rare, but it does happen. And every time it happens, it's tremendously scary for not just the child, but for the family as well.
I wish everybody could understand this, the severity of the COVID in children, all the families. Bueno, estamos hablando, amigos, le preguntaba yo al doctor, entonces quiere decir que los niños menores de 5 años pueden ser infectados y estar enfermos seriamente. ¿Y qué nos dijo Rosa?
Dice que definitivamente sí, que no nada más tienen los síntomas así de una gripe, pero que a veces hay un síndrome que sale después, complicaciones, que inflaman diferentes órganos en nuestro cuerpo, diferentes sistemas en nuestro cuerpo y que causan muchos problemas y que no nada más afectan a la persona o al niño, pero a toda la familia, porque ya ves, les tenemos que dar apoyo.
Claro, claro. Doctor, we are going to take a break and we will be back, okay?
Sounds good.